Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning? This beautiful morning, this beautiful full moon morning. Yes, it is a full moon, and we are manifesting. We are making real all the stuff that we planned out and worked on and making it a thing. To me, it's getting the planning out and making that a thing right now. Welcome to the Wise One channel. I'm your host, Lady Caren, and I hope you get to enjoy today's video as we take you through. No, I don't take you through anything. I just talk and drink coffee on these coffee with Karens, and yeah. I'm working on these little things that I kind of want to build up on my day-to-day thing, like speed reading a little bit at a time, Go on the website. Did I do that today? Did I check my emails today? The kind of little things that I forget to do that don't take 10 minutes to do or shouldn't take 10 minutes to do. And, it's a lot. It's a whole page full of items. And I decided not to go with only checkbox. So, like, if I complete it, like speed reading, if I complete it, I put a little check. If I missed today, this way I can track it like the mood trackers. I'll probably create, if this works, I'll create a digital print and I will put that up on one of my platforms and see what happens. But it was boring just to go with a checkbox. So I have little circles, I have squares, I have triangles. I don't know about Xing and checking a star that has no room on the inside. But we'll see what happens. I'll do something with it. It will work. So making things happen on full moon that we worked at very hard. Like I have a way to collect moon water. Probably put moon water for sale too, so as I can find ways of shipping it, packaging it, shipping it. For all those who forgot to collect moon water, I mean, it's something you go out and you put a container out in the middle of the full moon and you just collect the water afterwards. It collects the filtered rays of the sun that bounce off the moon. It's pretty. When you work in your spell working. Who knows? It's special. It's like anointed water, anointed by the moon. Goes on a lot of spells. It's fun. Packs a wall up. All the fun things you need to do. Collecting. It feels like a lot of witchcraft is collecting. We collect feathers, herbs, rocks, spices, herbs. I don't know the difference. Collect knowledge, collect wisdom, collect recipes, spell work, that kind of thing. Collect wishes, wants, and dreams. It's getting pretty thick. How much is each paper? It's quite thick. Brain dump. We can work. I was going to work on my bullet journal. It is halfway through July, and I guess if you're going to make a bullet journal, you might as well make it now. But we could also work on August so that by the time August gets here, it'll be totally ready the month of the bullet journal of July or August. We're in July. August will be complete at the end of July. And happen to that as we work on little pieces and bits of July. As I've said before, since December of last year, we'll work on it. We'll get it going. Special time. Okay, I'm getting one of the cheapest, like Dollar General. $3 General Dollar cup. Okay, I'll have to fix it. Make it work. Yep, we are on the 14th. We are on the main day is Thursday. Tomorrow I'm having yard sale. It'll be fun. Alright. So a lot of times I film and a lot of people won't be able to sleep, and that's okay. I mean, like, not worrying about sleeping is good. Because if you worry about it, it makes it harder to fall asleep. What can I say? It's the direct opposite of what you want to do. I might switch to that light and leave this light on. I don't know. Where do the shadows fall upon my face? Let's try this. Let's just change the lighting around. You probably on your end, like some sort of high definition monitor or screen is probably already trying to render or make it pretty. I just started, or I picked this up from the library yesterday. My library had like 3 or 4 books on Wicca Witchcraft. I wasn't specifically looking for Wicca, but I was looking for witchcraft stuff and books, and I had a list that I had picked on my Pinterest board. My heart just like was disappointed, and I wasn't where I could find it in the other libraries. Because you would think that there would be this huge section on all these different religious, spiritual, all sorts of stuff. Like knowledge is this great thing that you find from the library. Yeah, it's like banned. But the one they did have was Juliet Diaz's Plant Witchery. Discover the sacred language, wisdom, and magic of 200 plants. So I'm going to see if I can find as many of these plants as possible. Go look around. Yesterday I made dandelion jelly, jam, whatever. It was like a marblade. Mostly because when you put your purchase in a cupboard above the stove and don't see it for months on end, you forget that it wasn't pectin, but indeed just regular gelatin. In the cupboard. Oh well. We did that. I picked the dandelions. I got I nipped off the seeds. My thumbnails are not dirty. They're stained. Dandelions, you pick them. It's pretty yellow plants. You pick the stem off and the little nectar inside. Just underneath is this rich brown, golden brown, kind of, it doesn't smell anymore, but it's stained to the tips because I picked off the heads. I picked off so it's stained like the opposite of a French manicure. It's like instead of white for a French manicure, I use some dark brownish, poop-looking color. It'll go away. It's just stink. I'll outgrow it. But yeah, so I followed Emma Maid's poor man's dandelion jelly recipe, jam recipe. And when I say follow, I did stuff that they talked about, but not in the precise way. I took the dandelions, I nipped off the tops, I put it in the water, hot water, put the lid on the bowl, put it in the fridge. Then 24 hours later, I got it out, strained it, poured it into a pan, heated that pan up with gelatin packet and lemon and enough water to make a whole cup. That all the fluid made a cup. And I took a cup of sugar, which is insane. I don't recommend doing that. Poured that into the pan and with the packet of gelatin, dissolved it, stirred in all my good intentions clockwise, and then took my boiled jar because it was left over. I don't recommend doing this, but my dad collects only the jars with the wide mouth. He collects the lids so that no matter what lid you pick off of either the pickles, the salsa, whatever, it fits. So I picked out a small jar, picked out a lid, boiled it for like 10 minutes, poured the fluid in, poured my little dandelion mix, and then put it back in close the lid, put it back in the pan with the boiling water, and put a lid on, and put it on for another 5-10 minutes, and boiled it for another 5-10 minutes. It's sealed relatively well. I recommend getting like bulk canning jars if you're able to. I didn't have the current money to go do that, and I wasn't going to make a big batch and save it for like 6 months, so I didn't see the harm of by the time whatever grows. It shouldn't. If I've messed up, it's not something that should be horrible. Like 6 months later, growing weird stuff. So my jam was full on. So I was like, yeah, we'll just. So I had toast this morning. It tastes kind of like marmalade, but I made it with gelatin, so it's got like jello. You kind of like set up a teeny tiny little. You spread it. It's not quite hard, firm enough gelatinous state, but it's not soft enough to be like a jam or a jelly, and it's kind of marmalade-ish. Put it on, and it's spread, and it worked, and it's ungodly sweet because I put in like a whole cup of sugar, like some insane person with no teeth or nearly fallen out teeth. My daughter loved it. I fed it to my fiance, and he ate it, and he said it was good, and it was edible, and you might as well have put it on the store either way. We won't die. We won't starve to death. Yeah. So, yeah. Um, so yeah, we're gonna use that up so that nothing goes horribly because I'm not sure you can reseal those lids. When I'm able to, if I find the ball, or I find big canning jars, I'm gonna collect the canning jars or collect canning tops that go on top of those suckers. See if I can find canning tops that go on top of the jars we already have. I mean, of which we collect jars collection for full moon. So lots of just trying to do like homesteading, trying to do like upsells, trying to do like YouTube, all the stuff that I'm trying to manifest and get it going and get it moving and getting it to a type of blood, bud, or fruition of some sort, where it becomes, like my lifestyle. I'm trying to have a nice, clear, a lot of it is I'm trying to get a nice, clear picture. I'm trying to bring my picture of what I want, or my mental note into, you know, into fruition, to blossom, into manifest, into doing it's knowing what I want is usually the 2 weeks ago step that a lot of people take. But for me, I'm doing things differently and it's working and it will work. So for me, taking that into developing that into a step, developing it into its own thing, creating a clear picture of what I want and what I want manifested is a type of manifestation. So I'm taking a step back for me and my divergent kind of ways, whatever it is, defined or undefined, it's divergent enough for me. And divergent is so cool. Look at those movies. Those are but the books. So that's a step. Defining, creating the definition, creating the picture, creating the crystal clear image of what I want to do, or words I want to do, the manifesting that I want to create, creating a picture of the manifesting, creating a picture of what kind of lifestyle I want to live. And I've been so worried about, I've got kids in my life, I've got another person in my life, I share it, and it's my life. I'm in theirs as much as they're in mine, and they're living their own life. So I'm just going to do it. I should have done it a long time ago, but empathetically, I still take into these calculations. I'm not the only one in my life. I'm not, it's not just me. And it can't be what stops me from going forward, though. It has to be what enhances the next step. It can't be in the stopping the next step, stopping the flow, making it work. I've been definitely finding more sure footing this month, making things happen. It's been fantastic. I love it. And it's been great. It's had ups and downs. And what I'm trying to do is study my ups and downs. I'm trying to study, okay, what causes a longer breakdown? What causes me to just stop? That's not something I can control. I've been so mad at me for the last decade of this total stop. It's not anything I can control. It's not anything I can do. So I'm going to have to accept it as, okay, this is what happens What am I going to do with what happens? What do I want to do with what happens? So I'm trying to figure out what equals what kind of stop, what kind of equals what kind of just, I'm done. I don't move. Or I'm not moving no matter how not done I am. And understanding myself is the key element of what allows me to navigate my life, where I set this is what's going to happen, this is what I'm going to do about it, this is what I'll make happen or create the conditions to happen or otherwise. Make sure you have your checks and your balances. Make sure you have shelter. Make sure you have food. Make sure you have means of preventing diseases, good health, dealing with all that stuff. You just check that, make sure that's all done. And so far, I'm doing good. And I just want to make sure that I'm able to do good later on. In this full moon, that's what I'm doing, is trying to create a self-sustaining happiness or a lifestyle that I really want. It's a pretty picture in my head, creating it and making it happen. For a lot of people, I understand it should work for a lot of people as well as it works for me. Yeah, it'll work. Yeah. We just keep going with it. That's the other thing, is that maintaining. So I know I need breaks, and I know I need to create conditions where the breaks are allowed. Like I need relationship breaks, I need, mommy breaks, I need, so making sure the kids' needs are taken care of while I'm taking a mommy break, making sure that, my relationship isn't ended, and that I just need the break just because I'm an intense person. That's what works for me. Am I saying that that's what everybody should do, or you have to, or, no. I understand that it can be taken certain ways, but I'm not taking it that way. I'm not dishing it out that way. It's not I have to do this or that, or you do too, or this is how relationships work. I navigate based on understanding myself. What works for that is understanding myself so that I'm able to navigate my whole life and the way I live and the way I allow and accept other people's interactions with me, the way that I grow these interactions, the way that I engage. And I understand that control is an illusion, and people don't seem to get this. This is like it rolls off their lips a lot. Like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy this, buy that, as much as control rolls off their lips. Like, I'm gonna, I have everything under control, or they can control this, they can control that, they can control themselves. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand your actions and inactions. And that's what's happened for me. The more I've learned about myself, the more I grow my actions and my inactions. And that's been an amazing eye opener. That's been the part that if I could tell my younger self, I would do that. That would be the crap's going to keep happening. Good stuff, bad stuff, stuff's going to keep happening. That's completely neutral, that feels bad, feels good, and it's not going to stop happening. I mean, it's going to occur. And what you can do or not do is the way that, you can move or be moved through life. I mean, it's going to happen. What do you want to do about it? You're going to have feelings. What do you want to do about the fact that you have feelings? you know? And that's a big part of the witchcraft. And that's a big part of the full moon is, you have goals. You have lots of goals. Lots of, I want good relationships, or I want a house and a home, or I want, this job, or I want whatever goal. And the full moon is the doing, the part of your actions or inactions that you do to manifest these goals. Collect the full moon water. Charge your crystals if you want. I mean, good energy. It's full moon energy, and it's right here. What do you want to do with it? You feel anxious. You feel like you got to do something. You feel like something's nipping at your feet. Okay. Well, what productive things do I enjoy that I want done at this time? And a very big thing that resonated with me last night was that adorable folk tale about how the stranger came in and visited a home. And we visited 2 different homes. And he came by and he had nothing. He had no money. And the first home he visited a kind family, but who also didn't have hardly any money. And they shared everything they could that, that the man needed. They shared a nice hot meal. They offered him a bed to rest. And they cooked the meal with, a bunch of their vegetables with as little as they had. They put them in the soup. And he loved grease, I guess it was. He says, grease as big as you can, or the biggest bubble, or something like that to her. No, that might be a different story. Okay, he said, thank you so much. I don't have any money, but I tell you this, the first thing you do tomorrow morning will be the thing that you do all day long. And I think they got up, if I can recall it correctly, they got up and I don't know if they just spent time with each other or they just cooking or something like that. We're talking and cooking. So they spent the whole day, there was just food there continuously, cooking, to cook, food to cook, things to do. And their neighbor saw it and goes, what's going on? They're like, we can't stop cooking. There's just food continuously to cook. We helped the stranger last night. And he said the first thing we do in the morning would be what we do all day. And they enjoyed cooking. So they cooked and everybody in town came and was fed. And it just turned out really good for these people. So then the second family that he stayed with was the neighbors that heard the story. And they're like, ooh, let's cash in on this. Let's take this to the next level. So they offered the guy to stay at their house, and he did. And he had no money or anything. So they cooked and, offered him a bed. And he said, I have no money, but tomorrow, the first thing you do will be what you do all day, if I remember correctly. So when they woke up, they're like, oh, let's just count money all day. And so they got up, they went to go open the drawer, and they realized, oh, this is such a mess. I don't want to count money in a mess like this. We all have no place to put it. So they started cleaning. And that's what they did all day, was clean. They never even got to the money part because they wanted a place to set their cash. And that resonated with me last night. was my subconscious was ping, ping, ping. That story just kept brought up into my thoughts. And so while I was manifesting, I wanted to work on today the thing to the root of what I want all month long, or the root of what I want to do. So the YouTubing, the writing, the business, all that stuff, doing that. I didn't want to mess with things like first this, first that. I wanted to get right into my passion, work on that under this full moon, and that kind of spell work. That kind of just doing the spell work, doing the YouTube, doing the creative work, making, dandelion jelly, doing things that I had around the house. That was kind of what I wanted. So, mostly what I wanted. So that's what I worked on. That's what I did. That's what I'm doing. I want to continue that because I figured that would be the thing that pays into itself. YouTube, getting YouTube famous, getting monetized on YouTube, getting you guys content that you guys enjoy watching, that you enjoy clicking on, that give you, its own self-rewarding thing to hit subscribe, and its own self-rewarding that she hits random videos. So I'm going to have to hit that notification bell if I want to figure out when her next video is. Liking the videos, tuning in, getting more predictability out of this, so that you as a viewer can be like, oh, I know it's Sunday, she's gonna have another show out or another episode on our channel, that kind of thing. With a sleeping baby, a fiance who went to work. And so it works. I mean, I've worked so much cleaning of my spiritual, mental, emotional self over the past, I don't know how long, but really trying to self-discovery and trying to do something with the self-discovery. That brings its own kind of like epic ooh-ah thing, making things happen. That's been the fun. Knowing when to clean. That's been the other thing. It's like, if it's not particularly right, I just haven't done it. Even though I've had my own cleaning company, it's just like, it doesn't work so much. It does work, but it doesn't make sense so much as it just the results that it produces are definitely different. So it's like, the commonly thing makes no sense. It's like looking at my fiance. He'll not he refuse to eat the same thing several nights in a row because he's sick of it. I don't want chili 2-3 nights. I'm gonna get so sick of chili. I'm never gonna want to eat chili again. Da, 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 da. But his lunches are the same predictable thing every time. It's routinely done. I hate routine, but I want to build a routine that I'm comfortable with, that works for me, not just to do routine, but the type of routine, the results of the routine, the way I go about my routine, the reasons for it are just as important to me as doing routine or not doing routine. Being unpredictable, being able to go with the flow, being able to change things, make things, adjustments as needed. My shopping list is never the same. Like, my budget changes, our needs change, the seasons change, our needs change, like food. It's just dietary needs, dietary discovery. No, those change. And it's just building this kind of thing. this talk show. I've enjoyed this kind of morning talk. So far, I've had no commercials because I'm not monetized. We'll see where things go. I mean, it's a journey. I'm doing better. Not where I want to be yet. It's like the house is cleaner, but it's not clean. It's still, that's funny because all this is cleaner, but that right there, it's like the last thing. I left the last thing. I haven't started decorating. I'm like, yeah, no. Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys go because if I'm tired enough to yawn, you guys are bored enough to like keep talking. Oh, my show. I don't do this because I like the sound of my voice. I believe I do this more for the letting the thoughts out, getting the thoughts across, seeking out more viewers with similar personality, similar interests, similar, just enjoy the talking, continuously talking or chatting that just goes on in the background to help them, stem or to help them deal with PTSD where they just need a constant buzz in the background or constant white noise of just talking. Those are a lot of my coffees with Caren. But yeah. But yeah. Next video. I don't know. I don't know. I'd enjoy feedback from you guys. If I don't get a lot of email notifications with comments and stuff, so I just assume I don't ever have comments in my other videos. So if I haven't answered your comments, it's because I have no idea you commented. I didn't get the email. I didn't get the notification. I didn't get the alert to my phone. I don't check back on stuff, and I'm going to start looking back on all the pictures that I need to go through, all the paperwork I need to go through, all the things that need done, and just get that completed, But until the next video, I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you enjoyed watching. Really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate YouTube just being there for me to just drop this bucket of ideas and words and concepts and video content, and hope you guys enjoy it too. So until the next video, love you guys. Wish you guys have a good one. Bye.